Hello and welcome to all our viewers in Nigeria and around the world to News Cycle on Global Television, coming to you live from the nation's capital, Abuja. I am Mukhtar Kasim. A quick reminder that Global Television is on DSTV channel 365 and Star Times channel 276. We begin talking politics, where the All Progressive Congress APC says climate action must become a center part of Nigeria's political agenda. To this end, the party convened a climate policy dialogue in Abuja, bringing stakeholders together to explore how green policies can shape its campaign strategies ahead of the general elections. Our correspondent would bring that report to you in our subsequent bulletin. Moving on to the House of Representatives, where the Committee on Appropriation has raised concerns over the slow pace of budget implementation, but key finance officials have assured lawmakers of improved performance before the year runs out, following a closed-door session with the Ministers of Finance, Budget and National Planning, the Debt Management Office, and the Accountant General of the Federation in Abuja. Committee Chairman Abubakar Bichi confirmed that discussions centered on the 2024 and 2025 Appropriation Acts. Aniete Patrick reports.
Addressing the media, Chairman House Committee on Appropriations attributed some delays to ongoing verification and reconciliation processes and the transition to the extended fiscal framework, but emphasized that key infrastructure projects are still being executed nationwide.
Basically, members are concerned seriously about that, and Minister of Budget and Minister of Finance also confirmed to us that Nigerians can see a lot of changes and developments for this budget. And Nigerians are really concerned about the budget implementations, which is co-mandate to the National Assembly. We have engaged with Minister of Finance and Minister of Budget. Both of them acknowledge that, and they agreed to work so hard so that at least Nigerians can see the progress of the budget.
Finance Minister and Coordinating Minister of the Economy, Wale Edu, told lawmakers that the 2024 budget is already 80% implemented, with the National Assembly extending its validity to December. He explained that priority projects include grassroots infrastructure such as roads and irrigation schemes.
The budget for 2024 was extended by the National Assembly till December, so it is still running. So it is still a work in progress, it's still ongoing. And likewise, we looked at what is happening in 2025, and we put heads together to ensure that particularly the projects that touch the grassroots, that provide support and provide resources and facilities.
Budget and National Planning Minister Abubakar Bagudu highlighted the strong collaboration between the executive and the legislature, stressing that reforms under President Bola Tinubu are beginning to yield results.
They have supported all the major reform initiatives which have produced the result, including the latest tax reforms. It's an ongoing discussion. The committee and the executive have interfaced, and we appreciate what we need to do better.
Both ministers reaffirmed the federal government's commitment to ensure full and effective implementation of the 2024 and 2025 budgets. The Appropriations Committee says it will continue to closely monitor progress to ensure that Nigerians feel the impact of the national budget. Aniete Patrick, reporting for Global TV.
The federal government has reaffirmed that boosting agricultural research is key to achieving sustainable food security in Nigeria. Executive Secretary, Agricultural Research Council of Nigeria, Dr. Abubakar Dabban, stated this at a stakeholders forum held in Abuja. Aniete Patrick completes the report.
With food security high on the national agenda, experts and stakeholders gathered in Abuja to assess Nigeria's agricultural research capacity under the theme Agricultural Research Capacities in Nigeria, the Journey So Far. Executive Secretary, Agricultural Research Council of Nigeria, Dr. Abubakar Dabban, stressed that research is the backbone of the country's agricultural transformation. He called for stronger institutions, wider stakeholder collaboration, and adoption of modern technology to boost productivity.
In this new phase of AICA, we are committed to building on this legacy of our predecessor by pursuing initiatives that align with the strategic goals of AICA and the Federal Ministry of Agriculture and Food Security.
The Director of Planning, Research and Statistics, Dr. Shuaibu Madugo, and other stakeholders highlighted the evolution of research institutes and their impact on national food security.
Infrastructural capabilities, well, as you can see, we have several infrastructural growth over the years, including establishment of ISO certified laboratories.
The discussions at the forum are expected to provide useful insights to achieving sustainable food security. Aniye Patrick, reporting for Global TV.
Still in the agri sector, the Minister of State for Agriculture and Food Security, Sabi Abdullahi, has urged journalists covering the National Assembly to exercise caution and accuracy in their reportage to avoid misleading the public. The minister gave the advice at a one-day capacity building workshop on parliamentary reporting in Abuja. Topsy Gimba completes the report.
Speaking at the capacity building workshop on parliamentary reporting organized by the Senate Press Corps in Abuja, the Minister of State for Agriculture and Food Security, Senator Sabi Abdullahi, emphasized that the parliamentary reporting is a specialized bit requiring intellectual depth and responsibility. He maintained that the legislature remains the hallmark of democratic governance and enjoined reporters to play their role, strengthen the institution rather than undermining it.
His vision is for us to have food sovereignty. Within the ambit of food security, you go for food sovereignty, which means you are sufficiently producing your commodities or your produce yourself, and you are making it available for your citizens in an affordable level and accessible at the same time.
Also, addressing participants, the Presidential Liaison Officer on National Assembly Matters, Senator Dr. Ita Ennang, encouraged journalists to familiarize themselves with legislative processes through the National Institute for Legislative and Democratic Studies in order to enhance accuracy.
Reporting has been the penchant for the media to give less attention to bills and legislative measures, but rather focus on soft side of the news from the legislature. Even when the least attention is given to a legislative measure, it is the soft, of course, and indeed the least relevant measure to the bills under consideration.
In his remarks, the chairman of the Senate Committee on Media and Public Affairs, Yemi Adaramudu, highlighted the media's critical role in national developments.
By creating a platform for dialogue, reflection and training, you are not only strengthening the quality of journalism, but also enriching our democracy. On behalf of the Nigerian Senate, I assure you of our continued support and partnership initiatives that enhance openness, accountability, and professionalism in the coverage of legislative works.
Earlier, Chairman of the Senate Press Corps, Tai Odowale, commended the resource persons for their insights while urging members of the press to sharpen their skills in legislative reporting.
You all to this very important occasion, strategically conceived to widen our horizon of knowledge on what it takes to cover the parliament. In this context, the National Assembly, be it the Senate or the House of Representatives, and report objectively for the good of Nigeria.
The workshop was expected to further equip parliamentary correspondents with the knowledge and skills required to bridge the gap between lawmakers and the public, while deepening Nigeria's democratic process. Topsy Gimba for Global Television News.
The president of the Defense College and Police Officers' Wives Association, Ogogo G. Musa, has called on members of the Defense Non-Commissioned Officers' Wives Association to embrace empowerment through parenting, entrepreneurship, and self-care. She made the call while declaring open a personal development training in Abuja. Kikelomo Okere completes the story.
Addressing participants, President, Defense Police Officers' Wives Association, Ogogo Musa, says the theme of the training, balancing intentional parenting, entrepreneurial, and personal well-being, reflects the daily reality of women as wives, mothers and pillar of strength. She explained that the POA remains committed to supporting DENCOA, stressing that empowering non-commissioned officers' wives strengthen families and by extension the armed forces community.
Care is not selfish. It is survival. It is strength. If we don't take care of ourselves, we need to take care of people around us.
She emphasized that parenting, entrepreneurship, and self-care are not competing demands, but interconnected responsibility, urging participants to prioritize their well-being as a foundation for family and business growth.
Some complaints here and there, and we had to put up this program so that they can come and learn firsthand. And as you can see, you see that they are very happy because this opportunity was given to them. Because you cannot pour from an empty cup. So we need to fill the cup and for them to be able to, perform their daily activity optimally.
To be expected of my members after these lectures, like those, as you can hear, some of them said they did not start a business, but after this, they will start business. And to those that have existing business, they will know how to expand.
The training is expected to provide practical strategies to help participants balance the demand of motherhood, business, and personal development. Kike Lomo Okeri, Global Television News.
You are watching the live broadcast of News Cycle. When News Cycle returns, Nigeria backs Amuson Brome-led team for Tokyo 2025. Details coming shortly, plus business and foreign stories on the other side of this break. Please stay with us. You're welcome back from that break, and if you're just tuning in, this is News Cycle on Global Television, coming to you live from the nation's capital, Abuja. I am Mukhtar Kasim. Let's now head to business news, where the Nigerian Upstream Regulatory Authority has announced that it secured over $400 million in pre-sale decommissioning and abandonment liabilities from recent oil asset divestment in a move to prevent Nigeria from inheriting costly environmental and financial burdens. The chief executive of the Regulatory Commission, Gbenga Komolafe, disclosed this while speaking at the Nigerian Extractive Industries Transparency Initiative Companies Forum in Lagos State, represented by the Commission's Deputy Director of Human Resources, Corporate Services and Administration, Ifemona Basi. He explained that this experience shaped Regulatory Commission approach to recent transactions involving NOAC and Oando Energy Resources, Equinox and Chapel Energies, Mobile Producing Nigeria Unlimited, and Seplat Energies, Shell Petroleum Development Company, and Renaissance Africa Energy, and Total Energies and Telema Energies. Still in business, the federal government, in collaboration with the International Solar Alliance, has launched a $500 million distributed Renewable Energy Nigeria Fund to accelerate solar energy deployment nationwide. This was disclosed in a statement by Bolaji Tunji, media aide to the Minister of Power, Bola Adelabu. The agreement was formalized by Adelabu and ISA Director General Ashim Khana during the 7th Regional Committee meeting for Africa held in Accra, Ghana from 2nd to 4, 2025. In the statement, the framework established a robust 3-year action plan to accelerate Nigeria's solar adoption. The $500 million DRE Nigeria Fund is designed to catalyze investment in renewable energy projects backed by stronger regulatory support from the Ministry of Power. Still talking business, Nigeria's National Biotechnology Research and Development Agency, NBRDA, has partnered with China's Shanghai Heike Industrial Company Limited to establish Nigeria's first insulin production plant. The agreement was formalized through a Memorandum of Understanding signed in Abuja, which Professor Abdullahi Mustafa, Director General of the agency, signed on behalf of the federal government, while Shanghai's Heike's General Manager, Bokai Zai, signed for the company. The facility is expected to reduce reliance on imported insulin and save billions of naira in foreign exchange annually. And now to news making rounds on the foreign scene. African leaders have wrapped up the second Africa Climate Summit in Ethiopia's capital with a pledge to accelerate investment in renewable energy. The summit's declaration also called for an establishment of coalition of African critical minerals producers. It also urged more climate financing from the international community. The African Union, on its part, called for a global climate finance architecture that eases the debt burden on developing countries. Let's head to Ghana, where the government has agreed to take in West African migrants deported from the United States under President Donald Trump's immigration crackdown, with President John Mahama confirming that 14 people, including Nigerians and a Gambian, had already arrived in the country. He explained that the arrangement was in line with the Economic Community of West African States Protocol on Free Movement, which allows citizens of member states to reside in other countries within the bloc for up to 90 days without a visa. According to him, Ghana has already facilitated the return of the Nigerians by bus, while the Gambian is still being assisted following similar United States deportation of African migrants to Rwanda, Eswatini, and South Sudan in recent months. Now heading to the United States, where President Donald Trump has paid tribute to the slain conservative activist Charlie Kirk, describing him as a martyr for truth and freedom. Our correspondent completes the report. In a video posted on his Truth social media platform, President Trump hailed the 31-year-old as a powerful voice in conservative politics who dedicated his life to defending America's values. Kirk, who founded the conservative youth group Turning Point USA, was shot and killed during a public event at Utah Valley University in Utah, sparking grief and tributes from allies across the United States.
In horror, Charlie was a patriot who devoted his life to the cause of open debate and the country that he loved so much, the United States of America. He fought for liberty, democracy, justice, and the American people. He's a martyr for truth and freedom, and there's never been anyone who was so respected by youth.
The killing of Charlie Kirk has not only shaken America's conservative movement, but has also drawn global attention, underscoring the heightened political tension surrounding his death. Mukhtar Qasim, reporting for Global Television News. And now let's talk sport, where stakeholders say time has come to see sport not just as a pastime, but as profit. Chairman of Sport Association in the Federal Capital Territory, FCT, gathered for a one-day seminar aimed at reimagining sport as a business venture with a vast economic potential. Global TV's sports correspondent, Samuel Odi, has details of the report.
From recreation to revenue, this was the focus as sport administrators and stakeholders in the FCT converged in Abuja. The forum explored ways sport can generate jobs, attract investment, and empower young people. The convener of the seminar, His Royal Majesty Eze Ifeanyi Eke, stressed the need for private sector partnerships, improved infrastructure, and creative investment strategies to make sports sustainable in the capital.
Sports is a very big industry in the whole world. The last time I checked, it was running in hundreds of billions. And the last time I equally checked, the Americans of dollars. The last time I equally checked, the Americans have upped the ante. Making sure that this gold mine, that we are not left out and we are not doing catch-up games. That's one of the reasons why this seminar is holding today. For all the past and present association chairmen to go and put on their thinking cap and find out the way and manner that we need to have sports in our kitty and sponsor sports. Government has to decentralize all sporting councils and commissions and allow them to do their regulatory activities and not be involved fully in sports.
The president of Baseball and Softball Federation, Uche Uduzo, described sport as a thriving business platform capable of boosting Nigerians' economic growth.
To make sure that, look, every sport gets an equal share in terms of the basics that you need to actually take it to the next level. And the infrastructure plays a very major role. So why is sports a business? Somebody would say. It is simply beyond recreation. We're still very recreational in nature in Nigeria, and that is why people are not earning the numbers and the figures that is needed to earn in sports. It's a powerful economic engine of any nation. It's a catalyst for job creation, especially in a nation where you have over 200 million people. A very vibrant youth, very energetic, very athletic in nature, very organic. Nigerians are very resilient, very organic. In every sport, we thrive.
For the president of the Nigerian Olympic Committee, Habu Gumel, says his concern is how sports centers in the FCT has been downgraded. He laments that some centers have been turned into parking lots.
The state of sports in the FCT particularly, having been part of the history, I remember when I came, we had fleets of cars, and they call it FCT Sports Council. Today, as it is, FCT Sports has been reduced to a mere department. When we had the Sports Council, we had departments, technical, development, admin, and all these departments were there. Look at the parade ground. It's now a parking zone for the military.
Also lending his voice, Director General of the National Institute of Sport, Philip Shaibu, emphasized the need to look beyond profit to the mental well-being of athletes, while urging private sectors to support and complement government funding.
NIS offices are established for us to decentralize. That is where we can start going straight within that axis. We start developing coaches that will produce these athletes that we want. And that is where we start calling on the private sector to come in. Government job is to provide the facility. The private sector is to come and take advantage of opportunity of this facility to drive it. If you leave government to drive the facility it has created, it will be like the National Stadium as it is today in Abuja. It will be like the National Stadium in Surulere. Yes. Because government business is not in that. It is the private sector that is supposed to do that. So for me, I will continue to push.
Stakeholders agree that beyond medals and glory, sport is a potential multi-billion naira industry that can drive tourism, revenue and national development if financed. The seminar ended with calls for new policies and stronger collaboration to reposition FCT sports for local and global relevance. Samuel Odi for Global Television News.
Still talking sport, fans in Kinshasa have vandalized seats at the Stade des Martyrs after Democratic Republic of Congo's 3-2 defeat to Senegal in the 2026 World Cup qualifiers. The Leopards had led 2-0 through goals from Cedric Bakumbu and Yoanna Wissa before Senegal fought back with a late winner from Pape Matarsa. The result put Senegal top of the group on 18 points, leaving DR Congo second on 16 points and facing a playoff route to keep their World Cup hopes alive. And that's it on Global TV News Cycle. A quick reminder that Global Television is on DSTV channel 365 and Star Times channel 276. Kindly follow us across all social media platforms now showing on your screen using @GlobalTelevision NG. I am Mukhtar Kasim. Saying a very big thank you for watching